All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to each and everyone joining us in this call, and welcome to our Tuesday Launchpad training. But today we have a very special guest who will be joining us, and we are excited, of course, to hear some wisdom when it comes to smarter prospecting and expecting better results, particularly when it comes to our business. And yes, welcome to each and everyone who joined us here as early as now. And by the way, for those of you who are new here, my name is Rico Kilao. I'm actually part of the corporate team, and I will be your host for this call. And of course, make sure that you send your reminders to your team, get them on the call. And for the meantime, of course, we're very excited to hear from none other than Mr. Gord Bars, one of our rising stars here in Opulence Global. And today he will be sharing with us some topics and wisdom on how we can be able to grow our business through smarter prospecting and expecting better results. Okay, this has
I'm
been
doing
all for
great.
you.
I'm doing great. Thank you, Rico. And hello, everyone. Great to be here with you all and looking forward to being able to share here. So thank you for being on.
Absolutely. And now we can officially start our call for today. And I just want to give, of course, a little bit of introduction. I even before this call, I have heard a lot of wonderful things you have been sharing with us to us by our founder and CEO because of your approach and your mindset and your um, style on how you build a business. So let me just give you a little bit of introduction of who our special guest speaker is. And our speaker today is a seasoned entrepreneur. He is a business leader and a network marketing professional with more than 50 years. Wow, more than 50 years of real world business experience. And his career began in corporate sales and eventually in retail development, where he earned multiple promotions and worked with some of Canada's largest wholesale and retail organizations. And in pursuance of seeking for greater wisdom and unlimited income potential, he transitioned into entrepreneurship and eventually discovered the network marketing profession. And over the last 30 years, he has built successful international organizations, and earned a full-time income in the industry, and served as an advisory board member for a pioneering wellness company. And later on, he became a master distributor with another global organization, and he helped countless individuals create income and personal growth. And his journey has included major successes, business challenges, and valuable lessons that have shaped his leadership and perspective. And most recently, after overcoming four heart surgeries, including open heart surgery, he has returned with a renewed passion for health, wellness, and helping others achieve their full potential. And having recently joined Opulence Global Family, he brings wealth of experience, wisdom, and a fresh perspective that is already making an impact. So, ladies and gentlemen, partners and guests, please help me welcome our respected mentor, industry veteran, and today's special guest speaker, lifestyle director to Mr. Gord Bars. Hello, Gord. We're truly excited to have you here in this call.
Thank you. It's really great to be here with everyone, including yourself, of course, Rico. And I appreciate all of the help that you give people time and time again every day. So you're a great leader within the company as well. A lot of people look to you for many things. So it's great to be here with you and
Well,
all of
thank you so
the audience here as well. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Gord. And I know that this special call was arranged by the instruction of our CEO, knowing that you can be able to give valuable insights and your valuable wisdom to a lot of people that are on this call, regardless of whatever market they are in. Knowing that you have vast experience and in the industry, and you have been through so much, a lot of things, and here you are in Opulence Global. We just wanted to know your story. We just wanted to know all of the principles, the philosophies that you're applying, the mindset that you're applying to your business. So to get started with, Gord, I just wanted to learn a little bit of your background, a little bit of your story. Why did you become involved in this industry, and what are the things that you have seen, why you have been here for the past 50 years?
Well, I started the business career started when I was in my late teens. And as you mentioned, I transitioned from traditional business through my 20s and the early part of my 30s, and then found network marketing as a way of being able to supplement my income, and really was a part-time type of a situation for a while, and then later grew into a full-time situation with a second opportunity that I'd gotten involved with. So it's a long winding road with many turns in it to get here today, and I've been very fortunate and very blessed to have a lot of great people that I've worked with along the way, and as great teams are built with great people in terms of the group itself. It's never one person, and I would never take any credit in that regard. This happening right now in this precise moment is clearly the result of many awesome people coming together in a common cause here, and I'm just one piece of that puzzle, if you will. So I'm not one for the spotlight necessarily, but I just say there's some really incredible, I would say miraculous things that have been happening since first being here. But really, it starts, I guess, as you mentioned, my health was really a concern. And frankly, I didn't even know if I'd be here. And I went through a 14-month period with four different heart operations or surgeries. And that ended in the end of August. And I really didn't start feeling more like myself until about Christmas or New Year's this year. And then more recently, even because of one of our famous products here has really helped me in tremendous ways, which we all know about, which is, of course, Fountain of Life, or FOL. So, but my story is unusual in terms of how this happened, Rico. And if you like, I can kind of, bring it full circle to today, and, how this even came about, and what's caused some of these things, if you wish.
Yes,
Is that
absolutely. We want to get as much as your story and how you become a part of the Opulence Global community and what really got you into this. All right, what was the
yeah.
thing that you saw and how you were able, basically, how you were able from just a 2 week span became a lifestyle director too. So please feel free to share the
Okay.
story, and
All right.
we're excited to hear.
Well, okay, thank you for that. And I'm sitting in the chair. I've been in here since really this began for me about 7 or 8 weeks ago now. And it's really been nothing short of miraculous, and how so many things have unfolded here. So basically, I had been away from the industry for a few years due to my health, and just had no interest or at looking at anything. Was really in a retirement mode, frankly, and not looking at or for anything, frankly. So what happened though was I had a call from a friend that I'd met through a mutual friend many years ago, probably 10 to 15 years ago. And I had this call out of the blue, and we'd maybe chat, two or three times a year kind of thing to say hello. And I got this call from this friend of mine who lived in another part of Canada. And she said, "Hi, how you doing? And I'm going to be in your neck of the woods towards the end of the coming week. I was just wondering if you'd be open to getting together for, a coffee, or maybe go grab something to eat." And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great, to be able to finally meet each other for the first time face to face." So I was given an address, of which is about 40 minutes south of me. And I go into this beautiful office, like it's if you anyway, I really was quite something. And I was greeted by a really nice gal at the front there, and she introduced herself and said hello. And I said, "Yeah, I'm here to see my friend." And but she's, "Oh, and who is that?" I said, "Well, it's Sandy." She said, "Oh, Sandy." I said, "Sandy Chambers." She said, "Yes." So okay, well, so this I'm looking at you now, Sandy. So anyways, great friend. What happened was Sandy was a little bit late for a meeting, and so Sandy asked me if I'd be going to another area of the building to just sit and relax and wait for her, which I did. So this is kind of the innocent beginnings. I got to remember, I've had no company name, no website I've seen, no product mentioned, no nothing. It's just let's come and we'll get together and have a visit kind of thing. So anyway, she was a little bit late getting there, to the point where when she did get there, She said, listen, there's a seminar going in here I was really hoping to see. Are you okay if we do that first? And then afterwards we'll go out. And I said, of course, so here's me. And I met some other really nice lady at the beginning there. I didn't really know who she was until much later, which actually turned out to be Sinaz, our senior VP. So anyways, but I found myself in the, second row of this presentation. And I was watching all these amazing products getting presented, and I'm thinking, oh, this is quite interesting. I've seen numerous presentations, but I hadn't been in one for quite some time, and particularly firsthand. So I'm watching the presentation, and it's, oh, this is nice and everything, and still not registering. And then all of a sudden, this is when things change for me and really my life. And it was seeing the results of what was shared through a gentleman we all know here and affectionately called Dr. Henry. And he went through his presentation material. And of course, many of you have seen this. And if you haven't, you can find out through whoever brought you on, or they can point you in the right direction. But Henry went through what he does in terms of how he's helped various people with some very, very challenging situations with their health. And after going through this, I'm looking at Sandy beside. I'm thinking, what on earth am I, looking at here? And sorry, I look over like she's sitting beside me. She's not obviously, but this is how this. So, anyways, I'm kind of in disbelief almost. If I hadn't have seen it, I wouldn't have kind of believed it. And so we're talking a little bit after, and then this other lady came over, which was Sinaz, and she sat down, said hello, and introduced herself again. And so we had a little bit of a chat, and she said, "Well, come on, let's go out to the other common area," which we did. And at that point, I got introduced to Henry, Dr. Henry. And so Henry and I are having a bit of a chat. And I'm going through some of my health issues, one of them being my heart, of course, but I've got terrible neuropathy or nerve damage in my feet. It's debilitating. And I've had it for quite a years. And it's gotten progressively worse to the point, well, I'll get to that later, but it wasn't comfortable. So it's where you can't feel your feet, they're numb, you don't know what temperatures are or what surfaces you're walking on, things like that. In any event, so Henry said to me, well, listen, why don't you take my card, give me a call, and then we'll make arrangements for you to come in to see me. So that's what I did. That was a Thursday night. I met him and subsequently called him on the Friday, ended up in his office on Monday afternoon. And then he gave me suggestions on what I could do to help myself here. And by the way, I got some FOL as it turned out after the presentation. I didn't walk out of there without any. In fact, Sanaz got some and made me have some before I even got my own, but which was great. But that was my first exposure. So I'm in Henry's office. And then we go through a few things about my own health, as I say. And then I said, what you showed the other night and what you shared, I've been thinking about this over the last 3 days. I said, I've been around some very, very incredible things in my life. And it made me think back 30 years ago to one of the companies I was involved with. And it was a company that started the super juice category, if you will. We'll just leave it at that. But I saw some pretty amazing things with that product. I was with them for 11 years, as it turned out. But my life is kind of being revisited in terms of what I'm seeing, only I'm seeing it more amplified in terms of product results. So this is what drove me. And then secondly, then I'm talking back again, back to Henry. I said, like, would you ever be able to uh, share, like, can I share this with some people? He said, well, I can't really do it publicly. I might be able to do it privately. And that led us to getting on a couple of Zoom calls. And really, the rest is history. It's really began that way. So where I'm sitting right now, I've had this energy coming across from the other side of the room I'm in. I almost don't want to get out of this chair, for goodness sakes. But it's been nothing short of miraculous, this whole occurrence as to that experience in seeing things and basically seeing the results, which I'll talk about a little bit more at length later. But that's what moved me from a point of no interest of anything to do with anything. Like I'm there to see my friend, and then this happened, which I'm really obviously very thankful and grateful for. And I mean, that comes from, again, from just out of nowhere, this happened. So again, I'm not you now, Sandy. I blame it on you. So I would say, publicly, so everybody, like I will never be able to thank you enough for this. It's amazing how this all has happened and is happening. So it's because of Sandy that I'm here. So thank you for that call. And it's been, obviously it was great to see you. Unfortunately, we get more time together. So fast forward here into other things, and that is, you know what, I got to tell people, I have to find a way of being able to emulate or get across what I've seen and how it's impacted me. You might notice here to this point, and if you don't, I'll mention it. There's nothing about compensation plans or anything I'm mentioning here right now. This is somebody that I've been moved by this whole thing in a way I can't put into words. And it's really that simple. So again, I started doing these presentations and sharing this with some people because I knew I just felt I had a responsibility. Like there's literally millions of people around the planet that need what that product provides. And I think it'd be great if you can either directly or indirectly, you can have a positive impact on somebody's life in a fashion like this. The income stuff will all look after itself anyways. That's kind of been my focus. But I don't want to, belittle that because I guess about a week and a half into things is when I actually had to ask Renee. I said, I know about the income opportunity marginally. I knew I had to go get two people and help them get two people, that kind of thing. But I said, Renee, can you give me some sense as to where I'm at? I've got no idea what income I've earned so far. And he told me, and okay, great, and then just kept going. But if it weren't for and now that I've mentioned Dr. Henry or Henry, and I've mentioned Renee, none of this would have happened without them either. They have been such a tremendous help. I really I think so highly of both of them. They go above and beyond. I have been with a number of companies over the years, and I haven't had any type of help like I've gotten here with these two. It's just been incredible. And then beyond that, the people inside this company, and if you haven't visited the company, I highly recommend you take the opportunity, any chance you get to go and do that. What I found inside the company is the people that work in it and for it. Most of them have been there for a long time, which really says a lot too. But the nature of the people and the heart that's there, and the sincerity and kindness in the people, and the thoughtfulness and respect is bar none. It's just it's top shelf all the way through. So when Ramin and Sanaz had said to me, "Welcome home," there's really a true meaning in those two words to me. It's like I've gone on this journey over so many decades of my life. I'm going to be 69 next month, and here I am today, and so thankful to them, obviously for Ramin's vision and all of this, and Sanaz's involvement and support along the way. But everybody's been so helpful, so I'm very grateful and thankful for that too. I think that's important. Everybody really understands how unique a company this is, and they do have a very sincere heart in it. And I think that carries through, and it makes it be no surprise at all of the nature of this product that many of us are focused on, how it's an expression from them out through us. And basically myself, I look at myself in this as just conduit. There's nothing real special about me necessarily, but the story is getting out there. It's being told every day. People's lives are being changed. And that is the greatest reward for me and for all of us mostly in this. As I say, the financial stuff always has a way of looking after itself. So now I want to say one thing now, Rico. I did that all in one breath.
Wow. Yes, yes. And and
So
and, and you know what, Gord, if I may, because I was just imagining when you were there and you say that you were listening to all the presentations. And this is one thing that I would like to also share with the team, that what we have is really something special that can truly impact other people's lives. Especially that's the reason why we bring them to the presentations, because with the mindset that this products, that this opportunity can be able to help them. And here you are. I admire your story about Sandy. and you basically don't have any idea of what's going to happen there. But look, lo and behold, right? It really captured your attention, and you felt some, you think you've seen some value in it. And I just want to know right from that moment that when you felt something, that when you seen something valuable, how were you able, because we know that you became lifestyle director too, in a
Mhm.
period of what, 2 weeks? Was it 2 weeks that you became a lifestyle
Yes,
director? So
yes.
you basically have probably limited knowledge with all of the things about the compensation plan, about the products, about the lignans and everything. But how were you able to facilitate that, right? So what was the thing that really got you into, making that decision, and then eventually getting promoted to lifestyle director to in the period of 2 weeks?
Well, I just say this, like I sometimes my tendency is to take what might appear complicated and try and get it to the point where it's simplified into a couple of really easy steps. And this is me. It's just like I'm a one, two, three done, or like building blocks, like ABC type of thing. So for me, it was the comp plan. I picked up a couple things. Obviously, it's a binary compensation plan. It's a hybrid of all those things, and that has some very unique features that you will not find anywhere else. And to know that you can take both sides of your business and combine them and be paid from both your sides of your effort was very important, critically important actually in terms of that part of things. But I just said, okay, so what do I have to do if I want to move up into the top of this company, or move through it in a good fashion? And it was to register as an LAP, a lifestyle advisor plus. So that was the first step. And the next thing is, so what does this look like? How do I construct this in my head and on paper? And some of you, we go back to pencils and pens and pieces of paper to do our comp plan. And it always starts with that, circle at the top with your name, you in it, YOU. And then, there's your first person, your second person. We've all written these things down on a napkin or a piece of paper in a coffee shop or whatever. And that's my elementary thinking is, okay, so what do I need to do to get to my first rank? I need to get two people to do the same thing I just did and help them to get there too. And that is to do the same thing. So we're duplicating what I did. First of an LAP, secondly, sponsor two people in a like manner. So that's my first step. The next one is to get to those next group of people. And if I had more, I could add them in as well and help that construction in terms of the left and right side. And that's really as simple as I can put it. We look for things in a compensation plan, or at least I do. Up front, there's cash flow money that people need to survive on, which is generally your weekly type of income, whether it's through retail or other means. And then there's also your long-term residual income. So for me to put the compensation plan in my own simple terms is very simply, we get paid, generally weekly on new volume we create and monthly on repeat purchases. And we have other bonus programs like a car program and other bonuses you can learn about later. But that's basically it in a nutshell. That's the compensation plan for me. So what do I need to do? Register whatever I can handle, and then start moving forward and start sharing the information with people to create a result. So to that, you need to know where you're going. Start at the final point and work backwards almost. And again, it always comes back to you or us and what we have. So success begins in your mind. Everything is developed in your mind. Put it on paper, and then you start taking action or activity every day or every chance you get towards that goal. And also, goals are great, but you need to set timelines. Say, when do you want to get this done? So fortunately, I've had some tremendous people come to the table here. I've been just totally blessed with the nature of them all, the heart in what's going on, and that energy is something we many of us talk about consistently. So it's not me. This isn't me. This is us. I'm a representative just at the moment of us. Without everybody doing everything on equal ground here, none of this happens. And everybody's seeing how they can really, it's a form of expression for many of us right now. And myself, going into the latter stages, of my life, and I'm very, very thankful. I just can't imagine how, things were and where they're at now. And it's just simple steps. So, one of the things I'm sharing here, which is really, the thing is the story. So if I could say anything to anybody, Rico, it would be if you don't have your own story, find somebody in your up team that can share their story with you and work from their story, and eventually you'll create your own with the people you're introducing this to, whether it's through the business opportunity or the product or even another part of the company. I don't want to neglect that. It's just this is how I happen to come in the doorway. But when you get in and around this, it's like a very dear friend of mine and colleague. We've been business associates for over 30 years. He termed this perfectly. It was expose, involve, and upgrade. So that's what you're doing. You're exposing people to the information, they're getting involved, and once they're in the environment, it's their natural tendency to ask about other products, and then they upgrade themselves. Or maybe you say, have you checked this out? Have you tried this or that? And then all of a sudden things begin to mushroom from there. So that's again simple terms. Comp plan, go get two to get two, and the other thing is to keep your pedal to the metal. That's me. I'm kind of a bit of a nut when it comes to my time and my energy and stuff, but I just see so much here. It can't wait. So I just, I'm my own biggest critic, I guess, and I work as I see fit here. I'm able to, which is, I've been putting a lot of time in here with a lot of great people, and it's been worth every ounce of energy I've had. So again, I'm thankful for my team. It's been amazing, and I'll mention a couple names a little bit later if you like to, because I don't want to miss anybody. That's the challenge, and there's literally hundreds of people right now, which in a hurry. So that's kind of keep it simple. Have a story, work from somebody's. If you don't have your own, you'll create your own. And that will, if you're doing this right the right way, not from up here necessarily, it's although your head's important, do it from what's inside. And it's not something you have to manufacture. It will just come out of you. And people will sense and feel that. And it's exactly what's happened here. And it's nothing shy of that. It's just been so that way. So anyway, I'll just give it a break here for a minute here, Rico. But
Yeah, Jared, thank you so much. That was truly a valuable wisdom coming from you. And that's the reason why you're here, because you have been through a lot of experiences. And the way that I see from you is that you're making it simple and you're making it genuine and sincere whenever you talk to people. And one of the things that I remember, in one of our calls, I believe that you said that you made it simple in such a way that whatever you have felt on the time that you were on that meeting, all the feelings, emotions, and all of the things, you just want to duplicate that, replicate that to other people. So can you
mhm.
expand a little bit more about this? Because I know that this is one of your ways to also connect to other people so that they will be able to see the value that you see in what you saw.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's not the only way, but it just happens to be the way things happen here. And what you're referencing is when I had this all happen in the very beginning, I was thinking like I'm sitting back from it and I'm trying to figure out a way of being able to emulate or copy the experience, if you will. So I started doing Zoom calls. Henry's helped out with those, or we've taken people and many of you know there's I had to always laugh when I think of this. I'd asked Renee early on, can you give me some tool, like what pieces have you got to work with here? So I started going through some things. I said, have you got some testimonials? He says, oh yeah, we got some testimonials. Sure. I'll send you over the link. So I'm expecting to get, I don't know, three, four, five, six testimonials. So I'm laughing because I opened this document. There's 184 pages, for goodness sakes. So I start reading through these things. Um, so that's what I would say is think of this like results in advance. We know the product it does what it does. So we just have to direct people maybe a little differently than we might be accustomed to in terms of how do you do that? Well, the people before us, they have their own stories, whether it's Henry or Renee or Rico or Sandy or Joan, which is Sandy's sponsor. We're all now getting our own. The stories are coming together, and it goes back to my own story, and we all have our own story, and we'll all have our own products stories. I'm sure, like I also have, which I'd be happy to share later, but. It's just keeping things in that kind of groove is sharing the story, sharing the results. And if you're doing that in advance and kind of work backwards, if you will, that's basically what I've done. And so after people see and hear, these results, they're generally pretty blown away by those things that are happening, how people's lives transition into such a positive way from where they've come from that all of a sudden, people are saying they're kind of going, if they after something like that, generally we're finding there's three questions they get, and here they are. This is without looking at a website or going to do a Google search on FOL or any of that stuff. This is just showing people the results. They use the testimonials. There's 184 of them. Pick half a dozen of them and know where they are and show them to people. For goodness sake, that's easily enough done. But the idea is when you find something like that and you see it like this, people come off looking at and it's very simply three questions. How do I get my hands on this? How much does it cost? And how soon can I get it? That's how easy this becomes. And then for the new person, this is like order taking. It's like they're coming off a call like this, and okay, so what do I do? And this is where the sponsor comes in and says, okay, well, you just invited them to look at the information. Now make an introduce and invite them to speak with me. Maybe I can help you out. And if you just sit and listen, and you'll learn through osmosis. All I need you to do is make that introduction, and I'll kind of listen to your prospect and find out what it is that's on their mind, address those things, and then I'll generally have three lanes that I would kind of bring that person through. One is maybe they just want to try the product, in which case the new person, the new brand partner, would basically be an order taker. How many bottles would you like? And we can get them on the FOL1 site that they have, and they can go and order the product and do it for the person, just take their credit card information. That's one way. The other way is, well, I want some product, but I'd also like to be able to know, is there an opportunity attached if I go and share this with somebody? So then that would be the sponsor's responsibility to talk with that person and kind of, bring them into that whole, which launch pack that they may fit into best. And obviously, we promote a lot on the LAP, but there's room for everyone here from every, different level wherever you are. And you can grow into that as well by your sharing, which is tremendous. So that's another thing. Or maybe somebody needs a little bit more information. Maybe they go, you know what? I'd like to try the product. I'm not quite sure, whatever, that type of thing. We've got the most amazing websites, you guys. The FOL.1 / your username I'm referring to. There's no need for anybody to go anywhere making a website or doing that. And this would be a training. If I could give a training and say to start anybody in the business, and this is so duplicatable because every brand partner has one, and that's the go. When we first look at these things, I'm a little off base here, but I have to say this, it's the FOL1 site has got so much great information in there. Antioxidant video in there, 9 minutes and check. It's a beautiful video. Like all the information, third party research in there, talks about all pieces. It shows you the results in there. In fact, I've got my website, I've got them all tabbed out. So if I know if I got to do this manually with somebody, I'm going to the results link first. I'm going, and I've got all these things set out. And you can do that, by the way. I don't know if you can see it or not, but with the FO, like the FO1 booklet, you can walk people through that if you're not on the internet or do it in a coffee shop or from wherever. So that's the other option. So they can get retail. There's a brand partner opportunity, or maybe they need more information, of which you go to the FOL1 site. So that's the three pieces. And this is without doing what I would say the courting process up front. And again, this is just for me, everybody. It's just how things happen here. And there's lots of room for improvement. Let me just say that too, in terms of systems and so on, which we can get into in a bit. But This has been the easy thing, and it takes away something what I that I call the courting process, where you're talking to somebody and you all of a sudden somehow you fall into another category, which is what everybody does. Be different. Do something different. Hey, listen, you got to hear a story from my friend. You should hear some of the things I'm in and around right now. Would you mind if I got you on the phone so you can check some or whatever it is you're doing? You need to work with each other, not try and do this on your own. That's probably the biggest thing too. And if there's something that's working, plug into it, and then you'll find your own comfort zone and other tools that the company has and so along the way that you'll want to incorporate. And there's some great things here. So that's just me, the courting process of a website or go check out this video. It kind of goes away by doing this results in advance or up front and then working backwards. So people ask you those three questions. How do I get my hands on this stuff? How much is it? And how soon can I get it? And for me, that's a piece of cake, easy. So that's
Wow,
that's
that's
it.
really powerful. Good thing, Gore, that this call is recorded. And I love the simplicity. First, when you discuss about the compensation plan, how simple you discuss it, and here you are together with the product, um, with all those questions that you have asked. Now, I know that many people are, finding it difficult, or probably some are having some struggles when it comes to prospecting. What is your approach, particularly to finding and connecting with new people?
Well, first of all, I must say I reconnected with some people that I know as friends, not necessarily even marketers, but just from a point of, hey, you need to check this out. And it's been purely product based to this point. And I again showed them the results. Just everything I've just said here. It's not
Yeah.
like I've made it up to give to somebody else and suggest they do it. This is how this has been working, and they've plugged in and done similar things, and that's how this kind of began. Was really innocently like listen to my stuff. I got something, and this is exactly how it went. I just talked to a very close friend of mine here late this afternoon, and it was him actually just tell your story, and that's all I've really been doing, and that's how things started. I was telling my story. That's how important that is. And if you have an experience or you don't have one, go find one with somebody in your group's going to have one and work with them and go and start approaching people with that story or those stories, and you'll accumulate many of your own along the way. So that's what I did. And then some of them have a networking background. Some of them are retired or semi-retired or had no interest in ever doing anything again. But I guess because I was so emphatic as to my experience, it became I'm saying, listen, I'm not going to send you a website, well, this kind of stuff. Just get in front of the information. You got to see this for what it is, and then you tell me what you think after that. And that's really how it went. It's no different than that. But again, I started like I know who I'm talking to now and the backgrounds of them, of course, and just flips over to the business side, and that's how you're going to move things forward. People with the experience, it's not like it's something brand new for them necessarily, or talking to them, like they don't have that. They do have that in their background, but it's customer first. We're all customers. So, check this out. You tell me if you see something like I see in it, and then we kind of go from there. What do you want to do? Like, again, how do you get started? How much is it? And, how soon can I get some? That happens in that case too. So, very, very simple. What's the comp plan? I really don't know a great deal about it, but I've got somebody that can really help you with that. And then I would shift gears and be introducing them to Renee. As I've said earlier, he's been without him, particular in the beginnings, this was very frantic. We wouldn't be having this conversation. Of course, I have to mention Henry again. Without the two of them working along here with not just me, but like the entire group. And I guess, I should mention the My Five. It's not something I'd used before. I know it's an important piece for the company. At first, I kind of struggled with it for my own reasons. And then after a while I realized, you know what, this is really a great tool. It does, if I'm busy or somebody needs help and I don't have the answers, I've got other people that have the experience to go to. So that's been important along the way here too. So I don't know if
You
I got
know,
way off topic or are we even talking
no,
about
it's
the
good.
same
It's really
thing
good.
anymore?
No, no, because what we are really looking into is the practical ways on how you were able to build this business, and of course combining with your experience. And I just like to emphasize that the importance of the my five, because some people, you know, it's sometimes it's difficult for them to ask for help, right? So and I don't know if pride goes along the way, but you know what, this is a system that I also appreciated, the my five. So make sure that's the reason why it's part of what we call the opulence commandments, right? To have that my five, it plays the moment that you start, because we all need our support system here. And what Gord is saying here is that even if you're new, if you have the right mentorship, the right coaching, the right support system, then we can basically move from one level to another, right? And Gord, you basically you got promoted in a 2 week period of time, and I just wanted to know, because all of these things are very valuable, but what do you think were the biggest factors that accelerated your growth in that span that you got promoted to LD2? What was the mindset? What was the philosophy? And what was the activity during that time?
No, well, the mindset is obviously I saw a great deal of value in the product. And I thought, what an amazing way to be able to express yourself, you know? And I look at it as a responsibility. In other words, if this doesn't get across properly, or if I don't convey it properly, there could potentially be thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands, or more people around the planet will never see or hear about this if I don't get this right. That's how important it is. So again, you know, just if you don't know it yourself and you just get rely on others for the assistance, right? So for me, the focus is again, this isn't kind of haphazardly along the way, that type of thing for me. It's very focused, and my energy is here. And as I say, I'm like conduit for this whole experience going on. But the responsibility becomes outside of myself, and it's to other people. Like if I'm not doing this, you know, that might be me or somebody I know that's not getting the information. What they do with it is up to them. But so I keep very focused. I have goals set in terms of, okay, I want to get here and I want to do it by a certain time. Very fortunately, I've had, again, tremendous people in the group that collectively had created this. It's not just me. I just have the idea and it kind of emanates through them as well and into their people as to, you know, taking a hold of things. And once again, there's a very common denominator is the heart in here. And there's a tremendous skill sets in here. People have done tremendous things in their lives in the networking field, in the field of business. We're I'm in touch with some people. I got to pinch myself, like, oh, good. What the heck am I doing? Like, how can I be in this place and with these people? I'm just so, you know, they talk about the term that I may have heard called recruiting up or whatever, but where I'm finding myself is way up. And I have a great deal of respect for all my folks here, and there's a really great bond. So staying focused, having some goals, setting timelines on them is important. And for me, it's visualizing or maybe writing things on paper. I find when you get them out of your mind and you put them on paper, you know, there's a certain way of these things react together, and you learn from that. So even the little thing I've mentioned earlier is get a piece of paper, go back maybe 30 or 40 years. I started this old networking thing about 35 or 36 years ago. And I can remember when the first time I saw the circles on a board, I kind of lost my marbles, right? In terms of the income potential, because I've been in a really kind of suppressed income environment, and I always thought I would be able to be worth more to myself, and you know, by taking a different path with my vocation, and this ended up being it. So again, it's only through this experience that I'm here, and it's just focus. Getting the results has been, you know, it's just due to my team. It's that simple. You know, and there's some leaders in here, and again, I'm very reluctant to mention, you know, one or two or five or 10 people because they're all important, but there are some that come up to the top of the heap here, and one in particular is Nancy, and her group are just so lighting it up, and they're so amazing. And again, I've got to go back to my story. There was a fellow that I'd ran into when I was waiting to meet Sandy. And I remembered his face from about, say, 30 years ago. And so I called him by first name. I kind of questionably, is that you? And he said, yeah. So we started talking for, probably the 20 minutes or so before Sandy showed up. And I thought they may know each other, And then, of course, they did. And then anyway, so we went, all this stuff earlier on happened. But I had a call the night before my going to this meeting with Sandy, the Thursday night. I had a call from a friend of mine by the name of Nancy. And she's following up on something. She and another friend, David, had sent me something to try and help me with, and she was following up to see if I'd received it. So I'm sitting back a couple days later, and the next morning I had a call from another person. And something dawned on me. And again, I get goosebumps when I talk about this stuff. So it dawned on me that we all had a mutual friend, and they all wouldn't necessarily know that. Okay, each independent person from different places. The one fellow I met, the lady I'm referring to, was one of the dearest friends I've ever had in my life. Unfortunately, she passed away last August. But this lady was almost like the right arm of this man at one point in his career, like very important to him and his business development. And I don't know if he knows that I knew her as well as I did, because she and I were very close, and she would reflect back to him and reference him often. And it was Sandy. How I met Sandy was through this friend. And then the call I had the night before, that's how I met Nancy, was through this friend. And the friend's name is Emily. And we all just love her to bits. Wish she was here, and we all wish she had her hands on this product, because chances are she probably still would be. So energy is huge. And Nancy said something to me which I'll never forget. When I'm reflecting this part of my story back to her, I said, Nancy, like, this is pretty crazy. She goes, oh, she said, and Emily, she's still working hard, eh? So, so I'll never forget that. So I've been blessed
Yeah.
with Nancy and her team, and there's so many other people. I could say thank you to all of them. I do anyways. I'm here on their behalf. It's nothing I'm doing special. It's everybody. Yeah. So
Yes.
very,
And
very
thank you.
fortunate.
Yes, and thank you so much for that, Gord. And we're almost about to end this call. But one thing that I would like to ask from you is, of course, um, how do you handle setbacks, rejections, disappointments? And because you've been in the industry for quite a long time, I know that you have probably overcome tons and experienced tons and tons of challenges. So, what is your philosophy here? What is your mindset, and how do you handle that?
Well, I probably can say this. I probably could set records for the guy who's made and lost more money than anybody on the call. So, so from a
Wow.
variety of different ways. So that's one thing. And you know what? Here's what you got to look at. Any kind of challenge in your life, as far as I'm concerned, I've learned this over my life, and I used to take things pretty harshly, and I'm my own worst critic and very, very hard on myself. So I'll say this, you know, think of like life as a stream going past you, and maybe a lily pad or something or stick goes floating by. That's all these things are. They're sent to challenge you. Everybody has challenges. It's how you go through them. Keep walking up the stream. The water's going to keep flowing past you as long as you keep walking upstream, and don't get hung up on it. It's only a moment. Deal with it in the moment and kind of shake it off and go, okay, and you recalibrate. You reestablish yourself. And of course, things are sometimes more difficult or challenging than others. Be foolish of me to say anything otherwise. And they will drain you and they will have you feeling lousy. But you got to pick yourself back up. And there's lots of amazing people around you wherever you are. You've got more help than you could probably imagine. I don't mean just in this sense here either, although you do in this company and all the people in it. But I'm saying just in life in general, my idea is that you got to keep rolling through it. Adversity is, my middle name in a lot of ways, it seems, but you come through it, and you don't have any choice. So you gotta, we're here and nothing's going to be perfect. You got to fight your way through things. I don't mean in a negative way, but work your way through things and focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. If you got a bunch of stuff, whatever you want to call it, that's gone on the day before, the moment before, it's back there. Leave it there and keep moving forward. Don't look in the rear view. Look out the front window of the vehicle. If you want to think of how foolish this would be, imagine sitting in the back seat of your car, looking out the back window and trying to drive anywhere. Where's that going to get you? Nowhere. So get back in the driver's seat, look out the front window, and get on with it. That's all I say. That's me talking to myself. You know, just
Wow.
get on with it.
Wow. Focus on what you want and what you don't, and not on what you don't want, right? So,
That's it.
you know, yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. And basically, Gord, I have here, of course, our LB4 Rene Liao joining us in this call, and I would love to have him, of course, to welcome him. Hello, Rene. Good
Hello,
evening
good
to you.
evening. Of course, Rico, and of course, Gord. What an amazing, powerful call. And Gord, thank you so much for taking your time to share with us what has, given you so much success. And I have to say, though, I mean, the one thing that I've seen about Gord that I just cannot hide is really his work ethics. For a gentleman that's been retired, that just could stay retired and just enjoy his life, he works harder than anyone else I can think of right now. I mean, me and Henry, we all work hard too, and many of the other top leaders. But I mean, he's doing calls literally every single day, all day long. If there's some person that can talk more, in one single breath, it's got to be Goring. He must have like some kind of like a fibrillator attached to his body that he can just talk nonstop. But more importantly than that, though, is of course is that he has an amazing work ethic. I think one of the things that he's brought to the table that we can all learn from is his work ethics. And of course, I think the second thing that really strikes me about Gord is that he has such a strong mental focus. He doesn't let up, as you heard. And that story about the stream reminds me of a lot of analogies where you have a stream of water coming down you, and there's big rocks, there's small rocks, and as hard as the stream gets, the rocks never change. The rocks never move. They stay where they are, and they keep on going forward, right?
Yeah.
And also beyond that as well too is the fact that you know I want everyone to know here that Gord um, doesn't have to build from the head office. In fact, he's probably been there in the last. He could be there every single day. He doesn't live too far away, but he's built this whole thing essentially online.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I think I wish everyone could see here is that he's not in the office every day leveraging the head office. He's doing it all online. It's strictly all online. It's a great job at leveraging his My Five, and of course he has an amazing team of people that I've been very blessed to, of course, me as well, and work together with. But you know, one of the things that we try to teach people is really leveraging your upline, and I want all of you to know that like, we're all here for you. We're here for you to do calls with you, to talk to your prospects, explain things. And so really the two main things that I want to just really compliment Gordon is the fact that he has an incredible work ethics. He's consistent. It's daily. It's not like I'm going to do this business when I have time. It's every day he's doing something. You know, I think I talk to Gord more than my wife. In fact, he often, is very, I guess very, very gracious. Well, not gracious, but he's very thankful. But Gord, we're always here for you. But again, he's not shy to leverage his uplines, incredible work ethics, and the team that he's brought in here, they all have the same kind of work ethics, right? And I could name off so many people here, but I'm worried that I'm going to actually forget a few people here. But I'm just been so blessed to have met all of his people, and but I do believe, that the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack, and the way that he does things, his team follows him. They see what he's doing. They plug in. They follow along. And he's leveraging a lot of the tools here. But Gord, it's been such a pleasure and an honor hearing from you tonight. I taken a lot of notes here tonight because I'm always trying to improve my game, and I've learned a lot from you, Gord. a lot from you. And we're just so blessed to have you in our company, Gord. And I cannot wait to see you hitting LD3, LD4. I have no doubt in
Yeah.
mind he's going to hit LD4 in his first year. Of
Hmm.
course, capture some huge bonuses along the way. But I just can't speak enough of Gord because every time I get a phone call from Gord, I'm happy to take it. He's always, on something new, very creative, how to simplify things. And, I think that we can all learn a lot from Gord here, of course, and his team together. And so, Gord, you know what? It's great to have you on board. It's been a pleasure meeting you. And I'm just, we're all blessed to have you in this company to give some perspective on how you've done it. And it seems simple in some ways, right? It seems so simple, but I think the main thing is that his mindset that leads him forward is one of the key things. I believe that Gore has spent so much time, working on himself that he's become this solid rock that is unmovable, unshakable. His team sees that and they follow his suit. And so, Gord, it's been a pleasure working with you. I look forward to seeing you hit some amazing, huge ranks. And of course, yeah, I'll tell Hari that, of course, Gord is my second lover because yeah, oftentimes
You're jealous, Rene.
yeah, is that Gord again? Yes, it is. Go and take that darn call. Take that call because she knows by now. Even my kids, my kids know his voice almost more than my own voice right now. So Gord, you're an amazing man. We're so blessed to have you here, and you are an amazing rock star. And all of your team, all of your leaders, Nancy and David and Rob, and it's like every day he's opening new markets, right? And of course, we have an amazing
Wow.
tour happening soon in the Philippines, and he's
Yes.
already got a lot of his team coming to the meetings in the Philippines. So, he just knows how to plug in and plug in his team, and he does things so impeccably perfect. He's so well spoken. I wish I could have his long breath that he does, but I don't. But again, Gord, it's an honor, it's a pleasure, and looking forward to having you. I hope you can surpass me because you definitely have the ability to, because of your work ethics, your mindset, your determination, and again, thank you so much, Gord. And back to you guys.
Oh boy, geez, what is a guy supposed to say to that? Thank you very much, Renee, and I appreciate all your kind words. And what can I say? As I mentioned before, this is a team effort, and you and Henry have been a very integral part of all this happening. And so back at you, thank you for all the things you do and all the hard work you put in. I've often scratched my head and wonder how you do it myself because you've got so much going on all over the planet here and you're very highly thought of, and we appreciate all that you bring to the table, and so I'm very very thankful that you're my up team, and we I speak on behalf of everybody. You've been a tremendous help, and we thank you for that. So yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's Henry too is the other one. So I
Yeah.
mean, thank you, Renee. Just on behalf of our whole team, thank you. And we couldn't be here doing what we're doing without you. And again, I have to go back to, although I've mentioned Henry, I'm going to go back into the company too and how you've been with them for 19 years. That's quite a statement. Not many people are in companies for that long. That's a testament to you because you would have had lots of ups and downs of your own but you've stuck to it. And that's the difference too, is sticking with the game and not giving up. And you've obviously had tremendous support here, and that goes right to CEO Ramin and SVP Sinez and all of the staff, Ivy, Greg, Terrence, Sandeep, Maria, the whole core,
Yeah.
just everybody is awesome. So this is really a family and team effort, without question. And it's just a great to be a small part of it. And I'm glad I'm able to contribute in some way. And I speak on behalf of the group here too, that we're all very fortunate is what we feel. So thank you, Thank you for what you just said. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and speaking of Henry, he's also in the call right now. So welcome to the call and good evening, Henry.
Good evening, Rico. Good evening, Gord, and good evening, Renee. I just wanted to say congratulations to Gord, and thank you, Renee, and thanks for Sandy for bringing Gord on into our team. It's great things are happening because God has so much experience, so much great work ethics. And I it's hard for I have a hard time keeping up with God. I, talk, and sometimes I even lose my voice. But it's a pleasure because it's good to always good to be able to keep busy. When you're not busy, you're in trouble. That's just simple.
Yeah.
And then God is kept me busy. That's the greatest thing that can ever happen. That's just amazing experience, the journey, and I'm hoping to do even better in the future. I know one of the top leader is in the call too. Mr. Fernando is in the call as well, and he already set up some meetings for some major meetings for the Philippines, and a lot more leaders are coming up. This is just amazing time. That's why our CEO said. Decade three is for us to shine, right? We compare with the Amazon, with other companies. A lot of them take 20 years before they become a big company. So this is our time, and all of you together here, you are on the right boat. We are going to make it together. You just have to follow the leaders, follow the successful people, learn from them, learn from God, learn from Renee, and this is how we team together, and we can be very successful. Again, congratulations to God, and I just can't express how deeply I appreciate all your efforts and your team building skills. Even the whole company is benefiting. Ramin is also very almost like a regular talk with God to how to make our company a bigger company, a more successful company. So it's you're helping to shape the company as well, change what's best for the company. It's just amazing experience. We are so blessed to have you, God.
Well, thank you, Henry. Again, none of this would be happening without you. You know that, and I can't even. You talk about hardworking people. There's Henry, and I don't know how you do it either, my friend. Henry is like, we're gonna get rid of all of your nice shirts and ties and vests and jackets, and I'm gonna get you one shirt. It's a Superman shirt with a big S on the front. Henry will be climbing in or out of his car, or he's racing to get to his office or the company office. I'm so he can accommodate some of the things that are going on. So he's been amazing, and obviously everybody on the call knows what a wealth of knowledge he has with him. But I think we've become quite good friends, he and I, working together. And the heart of this man is really beyond words. He's so dedicated in his life to helping people, and he's found a vehicle to do that here, or vehicles to do that here. And he's a very special. You're a special man to me, Henry, and to so many people, and we're all very grateful and thankful for you being here and being a huge part of this for all of us. So thank you. Really awesome. Yeah, you're a great guy, and we all really care for you an awful lot. So thanks. And I got to stop talking or I won't be able to.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henry. And of course, you know what? As I was listening to all of you, one thing is common, and that I have seen is when you have the passion to do something, you will be unstoppable, right? You'll never stop because, as what I have said, when you talk, Gord, when you are communicating and connecting with people, you just can't stop to talk because you're truly passionate in what you're sharing. You truly believe in it, right? And same thing with Henry, same thing with Rene, the work ethic, the hard work that they put into the business is all about because this opportunity, this product, this life changing impact that we can give to people is something that we can truly be passionate about. And for that, thank you so much. I even see in our chat box there are a lot of wonderful messages. Thank you so much for all of your participation in our chat box. Great call, amazing call. They are truly thankful and grateful for you, Gord, and you are truly a gem. No, you know what? The moment that I saw your name, it talks about like a precious metal, right? You are a gold bar. so you truly are. You truly are, Gord. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your insights. And as what Rene has said, we have learned a lot from you, and we are looking forward to learning more a lot based on the things that you have shared in this call. And before we end, probably if anyone here, especially those partners who probably are getting stuck in their business, what would be your final words of advice to them?
Just don't let yourself get in your own way. Look past things. It's a little mirage for a minute. Focus on what you want and keep walking up the stream towards it. All these other things will pass by. Just keep focusing on what you want. And your thoughts, you've heard this before, thoughts will become things. Whatever it is you want, go for it. And don't take no for an answer. Just keep moving forward. Before we go to Rico, I'd like to thank you, of course, but I also want to say thanks again to Sandy Chambers. Of course, I wouldn't be here without her, and to her sponsor, Joan Durstein, who I've heard her name over the last couple of decades. She's done some pretty incredible things. So has Sandy, has got really an amazing background herself, way upscale from anything I've done, that's for sure. So I'm very thankful for both of them. And I guess I'd like to say this too. Um, I'm very thankful to all the people in the company, but particularly I'd like to say thank you to Sinaz, and I'm honored to be asked to be on this call by you, Ramin, CEO Ramin. Thank you. I'm learning a lot from you, and it's great to work along with you. And I gotta say this too, you know, to be able to express my thoughts and feelings into things here is one thing. To have them accepted, and then not all of them, but a lot of things being acted on, that doesn't happen in other places. So thanks to you for what you've given me and this whole platform and all of us, in fact, for that. And there's a lot of reasons why you're where you are in your life, and we're glad to be part of that. So thank you, and it's been an honor to be asked to even do this call. And that's a thanks to you.
Thank you so much to each and everyone who joined us in this call. Truly, this is something that we have gained and learned a lot from. Any last words, Gords, before we wrap up this call?
No, thank you very much. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Rico. That was great, and thanks again for to everybody and all the comments. Thank you for all those, everybody, and it's great to be among you and working along with you. So looking forward to some great things. Great things are happening every day. And shout out to our newest friend here, Fernando, and his group. They've been
Yes.
rocking and rolling out of the gate here already. So that's great stuff. And that's thanks to David and so on as well. So great stuff. I just want to say thank you. Great to been here with everyone.
Yes, looking forward, of course, to meet you, Fernando, here in the Philippines. And again, thank you so much, Gord. And by the way, before we end, I just want to, of course, promote our upcoming Asia tour events together with, nonetheless, our LD Foranelio joining us in Asia. First country to visit is Thailand, and then to be followed by the Philippines, and of course, Singapore. Okay, so make sure that you check out all of the posters that we have already farmed out for this, and make sure that you invite people into this event. So the great thing about this is that even if you're not residing in the country, if you have contacts happening in the markets that these events are happening, please feel free to bring them over, invite them over, and we'll do the presentation and welcoming for you. Okay, so again, thank you so much to each and everyone who joined us in this call. And of course, we don't want to end this call without declaring our vision, and that vision is one team, one dream, one system, building the billion. Thank you, everyone, guys. Good night, good morning, good evening to each and everyone. Thank you, Gord. Thank you so much.